Hello, everybody. It's Barbara, and welcome to my review of the Monarchs. This is Elias Vegas, Checks and Balances. And once again, we are looking at the new stylized Monarchs box with this very beautiful front image, including the butterfly monarch here. And again, we are looking at a figure which can and does exceedingly well stand by himself. This is Elias Vegas, and he is a new character to the series. He is also wearing a lovely three-piece suit called Checks and Balances. So he has been able to stand on his own very nicely balanced. So let's go ahead and, as always, top to bottom, do this review. And I'm going to be incredibly candid with you right now. I usually start off with the face, and I'm going to in a second. And when I saw this figure originally, I was really hoping that the face sculpt would change from prototype to production, and he hasn't. He has a very fierce face. And there we go. It looks like he's very angry, and I'm not sure how that ultimately was done because there's not anything particularly unusual about this sculpt. It is a traditional fashion royalty male sculpt in that he does have some facial hair, mustache, and goatee. It is not flocked. It is painted on. I'm going to turn him and bring it in. The cheekbones from this angle do not look as defined as you will see it. Whatever they used from the front, it looks much more defined than it actually does from the side. He looks, you're gonna have to take my word for it, seeing it in person, he looks very angry. Or, and I don't necessarily like that he looks so intense. It's almost like he's angry at what he's wearing or he's angry at the world. I'm not sure that's the best first impression to make. He does have some pretty intense green eyes. And there is some brown eyeshadow around the upper lid, going into and through his brow. And again, just to show you, the bottom sides are flocked. The top is rooted with mucho product. Okay? So I know it sounds like I'm obsessing over this, but really, again, looking at him on the screen as opposed to looking at him dead on, it looks like he's angry. And that's not a good look for them. For him, for this figure, or for IT in general. Let me adjust the camera again for a moment. There we go. And it's a shame because he's wearing one of the nicer ensembles that they've put together in a while for the guys. Because Elias is a businessman, and not surprisingly, given the name Checks and Balances, this is a checkered three-piece suit. The base color is gray, and the main check is a dark blue with a fuchsia pink striping throughout. That's repeated in the jacket, and it's repeated, as you will see in a moment, in the vest. Now both the jacket and the vest have the detailing of buttons, but they're really closing with hook and eye. The lining of the suit, which will line the entire suit, is that same fuchsia pink that you see throughout his suit. His tie is a much more traditional pink, paired with a traditional white shirt. There are pockets. He has a pleated front. If you can see that, the front is pleated and it has a lot of give. And there are pockets here on both sides. There are also pockets in the back, but because of the way the striping works, you almost miss them, and they're very hard to stick your finger in, so you really wouldn't use those anyway. To take a quick look at his white shirt and see if I can pull it out a little bit past. Here we go. There doesn't seem to be any particular detailing at the cuff. And again, you see I've just moved him quite a bit, and he's still, again, standing on his own, which is very impressive. These dolls are made well. I just don't like this particular face sculpt. And I'm not in love with the shoes. They are snake skin. For reasons I don't understand, they're, again, you have the black and the fuchsia in the snake skin, and then you have this gigantic fuchsia line. I don't know how to trim this gigantic fuchsia trim around the shoe. So it really takes away from the look. It steps it down from being very professional to being very not professional. And then, in case there was any hope that this might actually, that there might be some hope to save this, Huggy Bear called and decided to contribute to the look by giving him one of these. Plus side, it is the softest fur coat I have felt in my fingers, made by Integrity Toys, in a very long time. It, like everything else they do, is also lined. He finally knocked him over. It's lined. There's the tag. But I'm like, seriously, guys? Why are you putting him in a fur coat? Especially since the way that it's cut, if we had one of the FR women, especially the ones who are a bit more busty, and they were wearing an actual ensemble underneath, like a suit, this wouldn't be a bad fur coat for them either. So it's unisex. But why not put him in a proper trench coat, which very few people do, either as an action figure or as a fashion doll. So I was kind of disappointed by that. I was also expecting, since we do have Romaine, who came with a camera bag, and Noah, who came with a really cool briefcase. These figures are coming with cases of some kind. You would think with a three-piece suit, he would come with some kind of briefcase. He doesn't. Again, plus side, go to eBay. You can find lots of really cool briefcases for like $5. So that's not a big deal, and I can see where if they had to start being careful with China, you don't want to jam up the accessories, but then again, if there was ever anybody who should have come with a briefcase and a trench, it was this guy. We also have the extra pair of hands that, of course, very nicely are going to go with the fur coat. And again, they're returning to the really nice detailing with the gloves to make it look like on the inside they're seaming, so it really does look like he's wearing a glove, as opposed to it just being a mitt. Now, you're hearing it. You're hearing it in my voice. I'm not in love with this male. I'm not. There were just a lot of things that kind of popped off the rails. Again, the sculpt is not perfect. It's a little too angry. I'm really not in love with the shoes either. I think they're too kitschy. The fur coat is too Huggy Bear. So, yeah. What do you do with this? Now, for some people, this is the same face sculpt, I believe, that they've used on and off for many years for the Draculas. when they had a Dracula set many years ago. It's very, very, I think Eric Raymond might be a similar face sculpt. So if you like that really intense jawline and cheekbone line, this isn't a bad figure. If you want a good suit, and this is a great suit, it's lined, it's very nicely tailored. If you want a great suit and you don't have a lot of suits for your action figures and for your fashion dolls who are men, this is a suit to get. So what am I telling you? I'm telling you, if you can get him and there's only certain things you want without getting the complete package, I'd part him out. This is one, I'm sorry to say this, but this is one where if you want to part him out, this might be the way to do it. Sorry to say that, but that's my ultimate takeaway from this. I also want to, before I sign off, I do want to touch base on something else. Right now in the United States, we're in a trade war with China. And the president has commanded all the businesses in the United States who do business and have factories in China to find other facilities. I don't know, that's not going to be easy for anybody, and it's not going to be easy for Integrity Toys, which is another reason why I hesitate being negative like this. I don't want to throw salt where there's already a wound, where they're probably already very worried about their factories. But these are not cheap. These are very expensive dolls. And this is one of those where if you're going to do with a split with somebody, this is an ideal doll to split because you can get what you want, your friend can get what they want, and it all works out really nicely together. So for me, Barbara, and for Elias, I will see you next time in my review of The Kingsman. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care.